Welcome back to Good Things Utah. Suicide prevention is something everyone can get involved in.
Joining us now with more information in this sponsored interview is Michael Stately with the Utah Office of the Medical Examiner. Welcome. Good morning.
Thanks. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, thank you for being here and diving into this topic with us.
You bet.
Can we start with what this looks like right here in 2024 in the state of Utah?
Yeah, you know, suicide is an issue that has plagued our state for quite some time. We land among the top 10 states in the nation for our high rate of suicide, and that hasn't changed for quite a while. We lived through a pandemic recently, and that isolated a lot of people, and most people are back to normal and doing well, but not everybody. And, you know, after the Great Recession, we saw an increase in suicide, and right now in our state, we're seeing subtle increases in suicide as well. And so, you know, this is a call to action. This is a time when we can all learn what we can do to engage with our neighbors and our friends and our coworkers and family members. If you know CPR and you know the importance of CPR, it's so important that you know what we call QPR, question, persuade, and refer, that practical tools to engage in suicide prevention.
You provide a shocking statistic that 91% of Utahns have been impacted by suicide in some way. And so this definitely hits home for many of us, unfortunately. So the conversation around suicide prevention is really important. And that's what Live On is all about. What kind of conversations are we wanting to start?
You know, that 91% statistic certainly is shocking, and that just tells us that there's room for everybody to be at the table here when we're talking about suicide prevention. And the types of conversations that you want to have are open and candid. It's okay to ask the question, are you thinking about ending your own life? Are you thinking about taking your own life? And that's a really uncomfortable question, and it's okay to practice that question. But, you know, we're not going to move the needle on suicide, so to speak, if we don't get a little bit uncomfortable, if we don't, you know, make that space in our families and with our coworkers to ask, hey, I've noticed that you seem to be a little withdrawn lately. What's going on? Can you tell me more about that? Invite that conversation and create that space.
Some research to pay attention to as well. Males, a significantly higher suicide rate here in our state. So with that in mind, let's talk a little bit more about paying attention, what we should be on the lookout for, what we should notice, and then speak up about.
Sure. There are a number of risk factors that you can keep in mind when you're thinking about suicide. Increased alcohol intake. You can think about saying, I don't want to be here, or I feel like a burden. But the one thing that I would point to more than anything is just change. What is changing in that person's life? And is it changing for the better? Is it changing for the worse? And interrogate that change. Why is this thing changing?
Well, and I think that it takes eyes that are looking a little bit differently at people and really checking in and seeing them for more than, you know, just on the outside and digging a little deeper. You have an interesting list of things that we should do and some things that we should avoid when going into these uncomfortable conversations. Yeah,
first, just keep the judgment out of it. You know, this is a really vulnerable time, and you're, again, creating that space. The thing about it is never promise that you can keep a secret, because some secrets are not safe secrets, and it limits what you can do to help that person. Promise them that you'll be with them every step of the way, and that you're asking these questions and you want to know these things because you care about them, because you love them, and because you want to see them through what is often just a temporary crisis.
So much to learn from you, and so many resources available. Tell us where to follow along and learn more.
Yeah, there are several great resources that are Utah specific, and anyone can access them. They're on Instagram at Live On Utah. There's a playbook there. It's 10 lessons. You can take those lessons, and it gives you some really easy ways to engage with those that you care for. Go to the Live On Utah website, liveonutah.org. And lastly, anybody can call 988. If you're worried about somebody, you can call 988. You can consult with them if you're just not sure. 988 is a resource for everybody, including those who are experiencing a crisis.
Oh, so well said. Thank you so much for being here and having that conversation with us. Resources are available.
Thank you.